Hi everybody, and welcome to the second round of peer-to-peer learning sessions. For today, we are going to organize the session beginning with the presentations from the cities, some short updates regarding the workshops and the latest activities. And then we are going to do some discussions, some experience sharing, and what other topics that you want to discuss, and we will finish with the focus group, the discussion, which is going to help us develop the last the deliverable we are doing at the moment. So regarding the cities presentations, who'd like to begin? For now, we've received only the presentation from Sarvash. Yes, Victor?
I would like to begin. I'm sorry I didn't send you the presentation. It was running a bit late, but it's ready. Hopefully it's okay.
Yeah.
Whenever you say ready to begin.
You can begin.
Okay. Give me just a moment. Share screen. And this one. No, Kishinev. Yes, this one. Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So peer-to-peer short updating presentation on Kishinev. So as you all know, hopefully our pilot project is Buchumul. So we have three main pillars. On Buchumul, we have the creating center, we have the park, and we have the cellars. Cellars as in underground cellars. Creative center, we plan on doing a creative hub over there. So basically videography and audio, cinematography, design and graphics, and art school integration. What does the park? We have the green area, the street food and the events, and the cellars. We have the cooking hub, the restaurant, the wine bar, and the exhibition zone. The creative center is the area that is meant to become an attraction zone or a pole for all the creative professionals in the creative industry sector from Chisinau and not only. The good thing about building a creative center over there is that the location is very good. It's in the city center, in the lower area of the city center, which is not very popular with, well, not yet at least, because there are no points of interest there. And this will allow us to have a different and more unusual point of interest, because all the creative stuff is located in the upper part of the city. Over there we have, for the creative center, we have a courtyard that will allow for the outdoor activities, plein air and whatnot. And in the adjacency of the project of the complex, we have a art school for children. And since we're doing a creative center, we plan on integrating the activities of the school with the creative center. So the kids will get to interact with accomplished, more or less, artists that have real life experience, that learn to not only to make good projects, but to also make some money. And they will learn the value of creative work in tangency with the financial benefits. The second pillar would be the park area. That's going to have the green area, the street food, and the event. So it's basically hybrid. The green area will function as a small park in the lower city center, because there are no actual parks over there. The street food will function as a complementing zone for the cooking hub that we plan on doing in the cellar and on top of them. And this will allow for more international approach on street food, because we have a lot of foreigners that have small businesses throughout the city, but there is no zone where they can gather in the weekends, for example, and make a cookout and present whatever food they feel like doing national. And the event area will be, well, pretty self-explanatory. Small events, artisanal events, agricultural events where people can, sell vegetables in the weekends or a particular time slot. And the seller should be the most impactful one, because we plan on making a cooking hub over there. We have the underground area and we have the basic structure for the top area. The cooking hub should be a gathering place for culinary experts, for guys that want to learn, and not only local ones, culinary festivals and whatnot. The lower area, the actual sellers, could be the tasting areas, or the food will be served over there, that one that's being made on top in the cooking hub. Also plan on having a wine bar, since we're mainly about wine. Moldova is pretty famous for the underground cellars and the, let's say, decent wine, and the exhibition area. So where are we right now? Right now we digged in the whole archives. We found the old layouts, we found the old projects, we digitized them all, and we contracted a technical expertise on the state of the buildings, of all the buildings that we plan on using. Probably by the end of the next week, at latest, we'll get the technical expertise with not just the results of the expertise, but also recommendations on how to preserve the buildings, where are they the most damaged, what are the technical details, and drawings on how to reinforce them. And well, that's the tricky and fairly complicated part. After receiving this, we plan on doing a feasibility study. Right now we're working, we plan on, or the city hall plans on having an economic forum, and in the economic forum we're having what we call an investment project. So it's examples of places where people can invest. The people that are interested in that would be company, private person, and stakeholders, basically. And as we were saying about the stakeholders, the economic forum, based on the investment profile that are being created for the pilot and the URAs, URA for Chisinau, which we're working on right now. We are planning on setting the course. This is the economic, well, during the economic forum, we will have our main economic stakeholders on P2P and, no, sorry, PPP, public-private partnership, and we have our two other main categories, so which is creative and academic. For creatives, we have ArtCore, which is a hub for creatives that's already been developed, and we're working together with them during our workshops. We have AMTAP, which is the music theater and arts academy. We have Antrim, which is the agency for national tourism, and we have the art school that's on the creative part and stakeholders, and we have the academic ones, which are the technical university, the architectural faculty, and we have the city lab, which is a European Union funded organization that is working with city regeneration and some which will be a mobile plan de mobilitate urbană. Urban mobility plan, yeah. That's pretty much it. If you do have questions, please don't be shy, let me know.
Well, first, if you have any questions for the scientific partners or other cities, we were asking if you could also provide some aspects that you want to discuss, or we can discuss them a bit later.
If you don't mind, well, I'm making a list actually of questions because we're working on the regeneration agenda right now.
Yeah.
And we're making a list. So if it's okay with you guys, we'll provide the list in public, and whoever has the answers. So we would be very, very glad to get your input. But on your spare time, when you do have the time for it, and that's
okay. How much did you complete from the regeneration agenda?
I'd say about 30%.
Okay.
So give or take.
But I think this would be the time, no? Or like at the end of the presentations, or right now, but I mean in this meeting probably. What do you think, Urba Sofia?
To ask the questions about the generation agenda template?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you think there can be common points, so why not? You can share a couple of questions. Victor.
Yes, I'll have to
okay.
dig for them, but yes, okay, at the end, sure.
Yeah, if I may, I have actually two questions for you
Yes,
about the workshops. I remember you implemented already the first two and also the third.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So a lot of the results that you see in the presentation of the cooking hub and the implementation, well, on top and the restaurant on the bottom, is the result of that actual workshop, because we had Mihai won't let me lie, but we had like 20 people from different organizations, and we had the workshop on the thematic cluster, not just the pilot. So we went around, we told them, well, we explained them on site what we were planning on doing, how to approach the process of regeneration there. And afterwards we were planning on having a half-an-hour discussion, but it turned out to be 3 hours. So we got a lot of ideas, and they're still involved, and it's actually, it was probably the best workshop from all.
Great. And did you also have the possibility of discussing a potential flagship project?
Well, sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, did you also have the possibility of discussing a potential flagship project, like an event on the site?
Yes, we were discussing, we used to have what do you call it? We call it a yard sale. It's called a yard sale, and it was done, it used to be done in the place where right now we plan on doing the hybrid park.
Okay.
And the yard sale is basically artisanal crafts, I don't know, honey and nuts and whatever, like local products and healthy food and all this. And we used to work with the direct providers of this final goods, let's call them. So basically, during the weekends, we plan on reenacting this. But right now, the last info that we have on the site is the technical expertise, and right now we're cleaning the site because it was not really underused as we cataloged it in the beginning, but basically derelict. And yes, we will have the event.
Okay.
Yes, Barbara, do you have a question?
I have one question. Do you hear me well? This is the first one.
Yes.
Okay. Victor, I have a question related to your inventory of potential pilots after the one you presented, because in the operational analysis you presented only the pilot. So did you identify any other?
Yes.
So because those needs to be a part of the agenda, and the one you're speaking is it's a pilot. I understand the situation. Like last time we mentioned, okay, that the pilot can be inspiration for generating also other areas, right? So it's nothing wrong with that. It's very good, but I just wonder if you identified also other areas which can come after. I know that this pilot is very important for you.
We did, and we're still doing it. We have a list of, Mihai, 3, 4, help me out.
Yeah, hello guys. We have around 3 locations. We had more, but we decided to concentrate on these 3 of them. And we have presented them in our previous presentations. It's Armenească, Victor, Micle, Moara.
Okay. So, we probably didn't fill them in. That's we'll do that. We'll do that.
It's like I said, it's not wrong to upgrade the analytical part, because sometimes you can't, you need to go from the opposite side, you know, to discuss about the pilot and then inspire, you know, the stakeholders from the AGORA community group to discuss also about other areas. So,
Yes, we do. We have 3 locations identified, and right now, I'm really sorry you couldn't join our last workshop. It would have been really fun and informative. Well, right now in the city hall, we have contracted a consortium of companies, and they are developing a concept of a creative industry circuit. And 3 of the buildings are the ones that we chose in the cluster, and they're adding more to the circuit. So we'll be able, at the end, when the agenda is done, we'll be able to use the agenda for each potential project. We just use the agenda we have, well, basically a template for working.
those areas are similar, because you will be focusing on the creative industries, you know, right? And the areas, you know, are similar. Potential areas for regeneration are similar to the pilot, or they are quite different, and you will be focused on the topic of the regenerating them now, on the creative.
They are quite different as areas, and they're totally different as buildings. This one is a complex. It's a lot of buildings, and the area is huge. Most of the others are, all of the others are standalone buildings, basically.
They are not a part of this context, but they are other areas. Okay.
They are from other areas of the city, totally other areas. They are in the lower part of the city center, all of them, since we decided, well, we made a small study on where the most interesting and creative activities are based, and they're all in the upper part of the city center. And over there, it's already full, and it's not reasonable to do it in the same place. So we scouted the locations in the lower part of the city.
You're creating a small local centers.
Yes,
in a network.
That's the idea, and we plan on doing the small centers that are in walking distance. Because the center is fairly small. Chisinau is a small city, and In this process, we plan on having I'm not sure if I can call it an IT hub, but a coordination hub. So all of the buildings that we plan on this circuit are going to be integrated through a platform. So you can, while being in one of them, you can see what's going on in the other one. And, it's like an abo. You get an abo for all of them. You can go work in this one, in this one, in this one. And you can see in real time where is full, where is empty, and who is where. So you can, work with them. You can construct a more, what do you call it? Well, a constructive collaboration.
It's interesting. So in each location, do you have any idea? Did you elaborate it? Because there's also some issues or some ideas. I think needs to be also a part of the agenda, rather, right? So.
Sorry, I didn't get the last part of.
When they identified the locations, and they if I understood, they need to also to define some ideas how to regenerate those locations. Are we going so far in the agenda?
The focus is on the pilot project, but
I know, but for
regarding
the agenda, the pilot is like equal to others. But
technically, within the agenda, it is developed the methodology that should be applied to other sites that are also mapped. But with regards to specific ideas in the development of those sites, we didn't go into that much detail.
Okay, I think that we may have very different approaches of the agendas.
Yes, Victor?
If you'll allow me, for us, it's fairly convenient because we focused on local authority property, and mainly the local authority property are heritage buildings.
Yeah.
So basically, we are maintaining the same concept. It's easier for us.
But anyway,
yes, please.
Yes, you anyway already defined that there will be like local centers for creative industries. That's quite, if I understood.
Yes. Well, that's the plan, since creative industry is a very broad spectrum.
I know.
No. I know. I'm just saying that we can, if we get there, we can have a project for every type of creative industry, and we don't have to mix them together unless they want to, and it opens the opportunity of creating a lot more. Yes. And
another aspect I wanted to mention regarding the development of the rest of the areas is that even though we can define some initial ideas for the other Agora areas, the local community still needs to be involved into the decision-making process. So there is no recipe, I mean, regarding this process. What are their needs? What are their wants? How do they also see the area? So their input should also be taken into consideration. I think we can move to the next presentation. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you. I hope it was okay. And if you do have any information, don't hesitate to contact. So yeah, please do.
Esther, would you like to go next?
Yes, thank you. Try to share. Can you see?
Not yet.
Not yet.
You will need to confirm.
And now?
No.
No.
Esther, maybe when you select what you're sharing, you need to click what is written, accept or what in Zoom, that we can see it then. You select and then confirm.
Oh, no. And now you can't see anything.
No. Andrada, we have their presentation, right?
Yeah, I can share my screen and
Okay, thank you. Last time I didn't succeed. So. But how?
can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Thank you. And I can change the slides.
No, you can. You should ask Andrada to change the slides.
Can you change the first, please, Andrada?
I think she's trying to select.
Yes. So we made the presentation around the 3 co-creation workshops which we organized. The first one was on 12th November, and we tried to look forward the pilot project. We stated further buildings in the study report too, and with attendees, we make an overall view and information about the project. So first we describe the project and the AGORA areas. We introduced them with the results. And there was a brainstorming along some Mentimeter questions. And all the attendees know these buildings very well. Szarvas is not a big town, so they can well think of the buildings, what functions can be there, or what kind of advantages, disadvantages there are with their future development or using. So we collected their proposals and ideas. We wrote them, and there were some idea prioritization. In the report from the first co-creation workshop, we summarized these results. All in all, we can say that this workshop was with a good result. However, we couldn't involve stakeholders from the industrial sector, unfortunately, and our AGORA community can be characterized a little in one direction, because from the government sector, which meant the municipality, so many attendees was from the municipality employees. They were municipality employees. Some of them were from civil society, from the museum, from the library, from the City and Environmental Protection Association. So there wasn't an equality in the number of the attendees from the quadruple helix. Can you turn, please, Andrada, for the third? Thank you. The second co-creation workshop was on 2nd December. On this workshop, everybody knew the AGORA buildings and areas and the purposes. We continued the work with a supplement that there were an after COVID session of the meeting, and there were 2 speakers. They were valuable presentation, because one of the speakers was from the Child and Health Care Service of Szarvas. They had huge and hard work under the COVID period with social work in the town, with the young people and disadvantaged people. So it was a good presentation. We could see very well how hard the situation it was. The other presenter was from the Catering Nonprofit Ltd of Szarvas city. They had also hard work because they tried to supply all the disadvantaged people with food. Yes, the number of attendees and the participation can be characterized like in the first co-creation workshop, and that was all. Can you turn for the first, please? The third workshop was this year, 17th February. This was a summarizing and analyzing workshop. At this workshop, we had already a knowledge about the urban regeneration agenda template. So we had some points or directions what we have to ask from participants. The 4 areas you can see: the Mitroski Castle Park and a new building where the library operates now, a Pioneer House, the Granarium Zebra Club, and the Plastolus Factory building. So all the 4 buildings, we gathered the purposes, the steps, the financing background, and the dangers of future development. We had many information to fulfill the urban regeneration agenda. Okay, thank you. And last slide, I think. Yes, it's only from the questions. Yes, can you can turn. Maybe we have more questions, or I could write or make 2-1. So if you could have a check thoroughly, I mean not only the content, but the strategy development process, our strategy development process, or maybe the participant engagement process. It can be not so good, I don't know. So if we can get an overall opinion, whether we have the right direction in these tasks, we will be glad. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. Should I stop sharing my screen?
Yes, thank you.
If it's okay with you, I think that MRI can volunteer to work together with you, and
Okay.
we can discuss the process and how to do it and what to do.
Thank you.
That is amazing. And so those were the questions regarding the work package leader that would check the case and the overall opinion on directing the process. So with regards to the regeneration agenda, did you begin the strategy?
We have some money on the line, budget line, external expertise. So we thought that we would make a procurement procedure for this urban regeneration agenda, so that an expert colleague can help in the filling of this document.
So you did not begin yet, but you are searching for some external expertise to aid you in the process. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
And do you have an estimation regarding about when will you begin to complete the document?
Maybe we can't finish by the end of the month, but maybe next month in April. If it
Okay. Thank you. Does anybody else have some other question for Esther?
Yeah, maybe the same question I asked Victor as well. Did you maybe you mentioned it in the presentation? Sorry if I didn't get it. But did you discuss about the flagship project?
We have an idea for flagship project. I don't know exactly flagship project size measure. So what can it be? How big you think of a flagship project can be? Because we have an idea, namely in the park of Domitrovsky Castle, we would organize some kind of outdoor event or a performance about from the family who lived in the castle before. Their name is Mitrovsky. So we have a local historian in the town who knows everything, every history background of the town. And this man could perform a history in the park. And this, so that there will be a park organization or park cleaning, because now it is enough bad situation.
Okay. So you need to do some preparatory activities.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, the idea beneath flagship project is like to do something together with the stakeholders and the overall, let's say, community, if possible, to demonstrate that somehow the places we are identifying can be reused, can have another destination, other uses. We can put it into the productive local chain again. So it's a small event that contributes to the idea of reusing the place. And about the following the process, I think we can follow your process, checking the reports, and we can come back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Opinion, of course.
Okay.
Here's something, because we are there are questions again about flagship projects. I think the flagship project, as Urba Sofia mentioned, and as also we understood, is all sorts of activities which we will organize on the pilot or on some other location. I'm also not familiar with that term, so I know that it is in application form, but maybe we are confusing cities with diversity of those terminologies. So I think that it's better to instead of use flagship project, to use activities, because cities are more familiar with those terms, just to expose this, because I'm still sure that some cities, they don't understand what is it, because I'm also not using this term, just activities, all sorts of activities, workshops, exhibitions, events, etc. Maybe just to come close to city language, to their language, just to support them. Okay.
Okay.
Just a suggestion.
So the flagship project is part of the co-creation events in pilots. So it is an event that is supposed to activate the pilot project.
It's an activity.
It's an activity, yeah, exactly, yeah. But
Okay,
we can refer to it as.
Thank you for the suggestion, Barbara. We will try to simplify the terminology. Okay.
So thank you, Esther. From Zenica, do you have some updates or?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, first of all, for being late.
No problem.
Somehow I didn't put it in calendar, and there is the mess instantly when it's not in the calendar, this meeting. So I have not prepared the presentation, but I can update you on our activities and our progress. As you all know, we have done the first workshop and it was very successful, and we are planning to do a second and third in the April. In this month, in March, we did a lot of work regarding defining the terms of reference for external services for these workshops. So we had to prepare it according to all deliverables that needed to be done when we finished these workshops. So we had to really think through all of these segments, and also what is the hardest part, we had to explain it to our superiors, why is it necessary. So my colleague Amra especially, and myself also, we lost a lot of energy in that process, but good news is that we have successfully finished it, and we have sent our let's say procurement procedure. We started it, and we think it will be finished until 8th of April. So after that, we will have everything ready for organizing these two workshops. In meantime, we will publish a questionnaire that will be for public, it will be for anyone in the city, for all stakeholders, and we will publish it through website of and social media of City of Zenica and also of the agency, and we will promote it a little bit. So what we want to have there is to have these potential rejuvenation areas that will be discussed in these workshops. So we have selected in the first workshop, we have selected a lot of them, but we now want to focus a little bit the story. Especially that we want to see what is the pulse of the public and see what is the most interesting and most appropriate area to discuss in these meetings. So don't lose focus a lot. Also regarding that, we will prepare materials like technical data of these areas, a video presentation, everything, and some other online tool that will be used during these workshops. After we are set with those preparatory activities, we will then organize workshops first and second. It will be very soon, maybe in 2 weeks or 1 week between them. And after that, on the third workshop, we will also discuss about potential flagship project with the stakeholder group. After we do that, that is all, everything is part of this terms of reference. So after that, we will organize a special focus group for the flagship project and discuss the way how we should implement it to be in line with the pilot and in line with the AGORA project. So to have an exact idea and like a small, let's say, a project, how to do it most effectively. One other thing is that we will organize a special meeting for urban regeneration agenda that will be especially focused on how to correctly fill all the necessary data there. So that all is kind of part of April and maybe beginning of May. After we are finished that, I think we will finish everything in a lot of that in April, but probably first week of May also will be part of it. So I hope I hope you got our info and update. And also, yes, besides that, we will also we have a plan to do the final business plan for pilot that is also part of our obligation in the project. So after all these tasks are finished, we will in the end do the final business plan. Sorry for presentation. If it is necessary, I can send it to you by the end of the day, but it is everything we can show now is the results from the first workshop and what we are planning to do in the second and third.
No problem, no problem. We just wanted to hear what are the updates and the current state of development.
Yeah, we have everything under the control for sure, and our really big effort was on this terms of reference and to have a public procurement there. We have to use it's city money, so you have to be very careful and also have to do it right in the project way, and we did it. So that was our big concern before, but now we are ready for the workshops, and after we are back from business trip, and we will start an implementation of workshops.
Okay.
And yeah.
Do you have any questions for us or for other cities or for?
Not exactly. No.
Barbara?
Hi, Mirka, I have one question. You have
Yep.
identified 3 areas in the operational analysis part.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you identify much more now.
Yes, we spread it a little bit just to see the pulse of the public. So just it's kind of it's a Google let's say Google form that we will publish online, and just to collect the data. Also, we plan to do some questionnaires in the workshops, so to have more precise decisions there. We have identified, but along the way, we see that some other areas could be included. So that's why we included those. We have these 3, and also we will add maybe 4 more locations just to have for discussion. And after that, we will kind of decide what is the best to implement. Yeah.
So since you're focused on the building level, and since you are coming from the building sector, are you going to, because I just wonder what would be the feedback from the general public, you know, maybe I don't know, I'm just thinking to be more focused on the, I don't know, potential investors or some. No, it's very hard to have because not all questions can be sent to the whole public, you know.
Yes, yes, I understand.
It's confusing. It's sometimes it's better to be more like focused because you need to be very careful, you know. And
yeah, this questionnaire that we will it's just about locations and which locations should be considered. On the workshops, we will have also stakeholders and everybody that needs to be there to discuss about it. So, and we will also prepare all technical data and about these locations. So let's say on workshops, we will have more structured discussion. This first questionnaire is just to see the interest of public and to have our let's say proof of concept or proof that we are discussing about right things.
But anyway, you mentioned that you will have then focus groups. Then
yes.
Further. Yes. Okay.
We will. Yeah, we plan. We have idea about flagship project, but we want to have want to involve all the stakeholders there. That's why we want to have external expertise that will kind of bring all these groups together and just pull out the best information from them.
Yeah.
And we put that in terms of reference. And this focus group will consider different details that will be implemented from their point of view. And also we want to have one special meeting for urban regeneration agenda because there is some specific data that we don't have, but we need from others to give us. So that's why we need to have these meetings as well. You will see in the end, it will be a good result.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so interesting to see, you know, that it's taking different approaches, you know, for developing the agenda. Also, yesterday we had a meeting with the city of France, Anna will tell you more, and we were working on the agenda, and we were also thinking, you know, how to get the best results. So different countries functioning different, so that's you need to
Yes.
Location is unique, so you need to have unique approaches, which is interesting for us, for also for us as researchers, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you. So does anybody from the city of Kran also want to share with us some updates?
Yes, of course. I will share updates with you. Just a second to share my screen. Okay, do you see it? Does it look okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will present firstly our co-creation process, starting with the first co-creation workshop, idea collection and prioritization, which happened in October last year. We kind of have a concept of our workshop in two phases. The first preparation phase we had was the activities with presidents of local communities of our selected neighborhoods, that is our selected AGORA areas. As you know, we are working on unused or poorly used potential for public space. And within that, we are working on public space of Kran's residential neighborhoods. So our AGORA areas are residential neighborhoods, Stražišće, Drulovka, Planina, and Šorljevo naselje. So within this first part of this activity, we had questionnaires. We asked the president of local communities about problems and challenges they detect in their neighborhoods and what kind of ideas they have or solutions to deal with them. We talked about four main themes, that is green sports areas and also recreational areas and gardening and so on. The second theme was about security, that is traffic security, fire security interventions, vandalism, and and more about security. And then we had a social life, like social events, maybe different types of socializing what they miss in their community. And also we talked about visual image of the neighborhood in the urbanistical architectural sense, what they think should be done about the visual image of their neighborhoods.
Susanna,
yes.
sorry, are you scrolling your slides because we are seeing just the first page?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you scrolling just the first?
We only see the first slide of the presentation.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm still talking about the first slide.
No, but this is just the title.
Oh,
sorry, I will speak in our language. Suzana, samo prvo stran vidimo, ne vidimo. V bistvu, če ti vrtiš slide, jih ne vidimo.
Aha. Ok, mislim, jaz imam zdaj, jaz vidim, te pa ne vem, zakaj vi ne vidite.
Mogoče si napačen slide šerala, veš, napačen desktop. Kaj pa, če sam klikaš na one slide?
Čakaj, bom še enkrat poskusila.
Sorry, technical support in native language.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is the first slide, yes, of the presentation. So the first part of the activities I was talking about And with the obtained results, we had our workshop with stakeholders on 18th of October, and we talked about, we presented them all the results from questionnaires, all the answers from presidents of local communities, and all their ideas and their priorities. And then we had a debate, and we also talked about priorities on the city level, on those local, on those neighborhoods on the city level. Okay, next slide. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. So this workshop was in person. Yes, we jointly prioritized the ideas with stakeholders, and then highlighted key challenges at the city level. And we also, well, we believe we did something important when one of our AGORA areas is neighborhood Planina, and neighborhood Planina consists of 4 local, because it's so big, it consists of 4 local communities. And we managed to have a meeting for the first time where we invited all the 4 presidents of those local communities, and in order that they kind of jointly prioritize their needs in the whole Planina neighborhood. So that was kind of quite important step. So the next, the second co-creation workshop, instrument and solution building, happened on 6th of December. This was online, and it also, the concept was also as it was for the first workshop, it was also in 2 parts. The first part was that we had a preliminary meeting with one of our key stakeholders. We had kind of brainstorming meeting, and the result of that brainstorming was a scheme of approaches and tools on how to achieve the identified priorities regarding the time aspect. We kind of made a scheme and divided it regarding the time aspect. So like long-term priorities, solutions, and short and midterm priorities and solutions. And when we jointly designed the theme, we also had a second part, that is the workshop with stakeholders, where we presented them all the process we carry out at that point. Where we presented them the scheme of approaches and tools, and had a debate with them on the topic. The most important thing that we have achieved is that we realized that the city needs comprehensive urbanistical basis or concept for our residential neighborhood, that we need to have a basis on which we can work on, and we then all the stakeholders also seen this scheme, and we discussed about it, and they gave us some directions and some corrections, etc. So we are still we still have to organize the third co-creation workshop, which we are planning to do the second week in April. The concept is to, right now we started working on our agenda, and the idea is that we will, when we will have the vision and the objectives and the actions that we will include in the agenda, that we will pre-acquaint the stakeholders, maybe via email or maybe via, I don't know, some presentations. And we will present them what we have written down in the agenda, so we will get their feedback on that. Of course, with their prepositions, corrections, and so on. That is the main idea of our third co-creation workshop. And regarding the pilot, we have also some future activities. And we think it's really important, you know, within all this process, we realize that there are, and also the residents of our pilot area think it's important to have small actions that they can participate in, like cleaning actions, cleaning day of the neighborhood. So we are preparing this Druloka community action, which will happen this Saturday. And we kind of on this Saturday, there will be a major event going on in Kran that is a cleaning action for the whole city that is organized by scouts of the Kran. So it was an opportunity for us to merge, to combine those actions with some kind of community action in Druloka. So we will get together by the garage in Druloka, and we will clean the garage. We will plant some flowers in the pots that are empty now. We will, of course, have cleaning action through the neighborhood. We will make graffiti on the garage. We will have an exchange event when people will bring some stuff and then exchange between them. So kind of community action to bond people together, and well, because they think it's important, and we also think it's important to increase the participation, and also it's important that they we have to promote the idea that they are becoming more engaged in the process, that they have to be more self-initiative, that they have to take the more active role in this process, not only wait till someone else does something and I don't know, you know, they have to be the motivator also. So this process, it has to go in both ways, not only in a way from city administration to public to resident, but also backwards. And then we are planning, we are also dealing with the public procurement. We are ordering a basis, like I talked about earlier, a urbanistical basis for our pilot area, Druloka. So we will have something to work on, and also we were talking earlier about flagship project. We also prefer the term activity because we kind of understand it better if we say the activity on the pilot. I mean, all the co-creation activity on the pilot. We will also present that urbanistical results to the people, to the residents in Druloka, and we will not only have the event where we will present this material, this results, but we will also have a workshop with them. So they will tell us, are we on the right track? Do they really want what we were designed there? Do they really need that? So it will be a kind of co-creation process all the way. I guess we don't know the specific concept of the event, and not yet. We don't know yet when will it happen, but that's kind of the, I don't know, the plan, the outline of the activities what we are planning to do. And that's, I guess, all from my side. If you have any questions, please.
Thank you, Susanna. What about the regeneration agenda? Can you tell us a few words?
Yes, we have started working on regeneration agenda, and I think we will do. We think we will actively do on that topic of another next week, and then another week after that. We are in contact with our scientific partner Barbara and Matej, and they are helping us, they are guiding us. So I think we're on track. I think we're doing a good job, and I don't know. We don't have any issues, any questions right now, but if we will, we will contact you for the.
Yeah, perfect.
So I think we're okay.
Yes, something
Good.
Yes, I think that what we are having in parallel two activities regarding the urban agenda and the pilot. You know that the public procurements they need time, so
Yes.
that's why Susanna was and the team from CRAN, also Anna, they were involved in preparing those documentation for those kind of projects. This is those are bureaucratic barriers, you know.
Yes.
So that's why we didn't work so much on the agenda, but we started. We are working very hard, and we don't have any problems. I'm working with them and coming to the city of Kran, and we are working together on the content. And the idea of for the last for the third workshop is to present the basic the main important parts and the structure of the urban regeneration agenda to get the feedback, you know, because whenever you're organizing some workshops with stakeholders, you need to have some materials. Otherwise, you know, the discussion can, and if the discussion is not, or the discussion needs to be very well prepared, because otherwise you have, it's a mess. So based on from our experience from previous projects, it is the best if you prepare some materials around which you can discuss them. So that's why we said, okay, let's have the last, what I mentioned in one of our meetings, let's have the last workshop to get the feedback on the agenda. This was the basic idea. And then also like I also what Mirza mentioned, you know, it's I think it's also, I think that one event, I'm not so sure, it is to present the agenda also to the open public, to the general public. Is this planned or not? I think it is, or I mixed it with some other project. No? Okay. Okay. But yes.
Sorry, Barbara.
Yes.
Sorry, Barbara. You mean present the agenda in an event? Or in a special moment?
No, I thought that if I didn't mix with some other project, I'm just asking if, and I didn't check the application form, do we have the event where the agenda will be presented to the general public or to the...
No, I don't think there is an application agenda and in the application form like a
there is not foreseen an event particularly for the regeneration agenda, but of course the online dissemination of the final results I think will happen, right, Jorge?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I asked once more, because in terms of communication, the agenda should be published on the website of the local administration, and and also on a local newspaper if possible.
But there is no any special event to get the feedback from the general public, right? Or it is part of the, no, just to disseminate it, this is the activity.
Exactly, just a communication, there's no event.
Okay. I don't know why I had in my head, you know, that we need to.
Because the last workshop, the strategy development was focused on the agenda, so this is why.
Yeah. I'm mixing with that one because, you know, when I'm reading the application for so many times, I have in my mind, and sometimes I get, we don't have a special event.
Yeah.
Okay. And we are planning, like Susanna mentioned, the draft version we are planning to finish here end of April. But then, you know, for the deliver. But since the city would like to use it for different purposes, you know, so they would like to also have a nice graphical, you know, presentation of the agenda.
The agenda can be briefly presented also in the pilot action in the flagship project, because it's going to be a co-creation event on the pilot project, and I mean, one of the topics of discussion can be the regeneration agenda.
Or just maybe disseminated. Maybe there is something printed that on which you can write. We have also the regeneration agenda. If you want to take a look, maybe prepare a questionnaire to ask a feedback on the regeneration agenda.
Plus, I mean, the pilot project, I think within the co-creation event, the flagship project should be presented as part of the context of the AGORA project.
Yes, it's not a problem. But we will, since, you know, to disseminate it, you know, we will write it in our Slovenian language and have a summary in English. So just,
perfect.
Other cities will do it.
I just wanted to mention another small thing. If you finished also the other workshops, please send us also the reports. I just remember now, and I wanted to mention it. So, does anybody have any other question for the group or story that would like to share?
I think that we heard today some approaches which could become like good cases and lessons. We will have enough materials for the lessons learned.
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing. Yeah, that I mean, you had very good approaches regarding,
especially for you, for T4, Andrea, success factors.
Yeah. So if we, I mean, I think all the cities said something about the agenda and also about the pilot action, if they have an idea or started drafting one. So I wanted to ask you, I mean, I think we had it covered, but if there is anything else to mention, if you have, what are your main difficulties in developing or implementing, or that you foresee in implementing the regeneration agenda? And if you have some success story that other than the ones that were shared that you want to share with us? So it's about challenges in developing the rest of the agenda and implementing it. Yeah.
The challenge is for cities to translate the aim of the agenda to stakeholders, right? Like Mirva mentioned. It's the same, you know, because what are the benefits? What decision makers would like to hear? I think that the agenda needs to address this. You know, we had on peer-to-peer learning sessions, you know, there were some points, you know, some ideas how the agendas can be used for, used so, and can be a supportive document also for funding and for defining development goals. So I think that this is very crucial to present the local decision makers.
How the agenda is presented to the local authorities. Yes.
The language is the challenge.
Yes, and what is the potential behind it? So we can also, Victor, if you want to ask some other questions, because you said you had a list, maybe we can discuss some of those questions now.
Still with us.
Yeah, Victor or Mihai. Okay. Regarding the pilot actions, we discussed during the presentations how you want to approach this activity. Do you have any other insight or question or challenge that you see that you can foresee in developing this? So, okay. If you don't have anything to say regarding the pilot actions, we can we can move on to the following question, which is regarding the co-creation process. As I also mentioned in the last partnership meeting, the co-creation process is this very important pillar of the AGORA project that needs to be involved in all of those steps, engaging the local communities in developing the project. So what is the current state of the co-creation process and about involving the local communities, and how you plan to involve the communities in the following activities? If you thought about delegating some of the activities to members of the community.
I think it's the hardest for us, the hardest task to involve local community or see beyond the municipality area. So I mean, somebody has a pilot project, crime, which is on a neighborhood. So they can involve a little more easily people, because people feel the project and the area like it is their area where they live. But for example, our pilot project is an old empty building, which is in the property of the municipality. It is a little hard. What kind of community we have to involve besides some civil society which operate in the town? So it is hard to think of this community circle. Who do we think of as a local community?
Would be interested.
Yes.
Besides artists and youth and cultural operators.
Maybe students.
Yeah, exactly. Students.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are going to the castle will have a cultural function, right? Or education as well?
Yeah, cultural, because library wants to move again into the building, and the museum, maybe art gallery.
Yeah.
Have a place in the future. Yes, some kind of cultural for the youth.
I think it should be it should speak to the creatives of the town, and most certainly not only students, but I think also children, families, if we are talking about a library. Does any other city face a similar challenge, or do you see some other possible solutions for this?
Yes, I can maybe add for City of Zenza, it's related to a pilot also. For this pilot, we started the reconstruction, so that's good. Our public procurement went finally to the end, so we plan to have this pilot finished until the end of the year. I don't know what will happen. Since we included in the first workshop university and different schools and different stakeholders, we went one step ahead and tried to organize meeting to sign a different memorandum of understanding with them, so they could use the facilities together in coordination with us. In the and that memorandum or the rules how to apply to that will be like a final output of these workshops that we will have. So we will try to together define the rules and procedures and necessary decisions to organize the structure, how it will be utilized as a pilot between the different stakeholders. So that is regarding this pilot project. And also what we concluded in one meeting is that we will go to different public calls of European Union funds to apply together with universities and different stakeholders. So we will try not to actually do complementary projects between us, not to multiply them, like to have the same equipment or similar, but to have complementary activities and equipment. So we join forces, in short word.
Yeah,
also,
to create a synergy.
Synergy, yes. That we are trying just to put all the pieces from this AGORA process for the pilot. So after we finish everything and have this business plan ready, that all this these pieces will fall in with informal and administrative procedures and everything else, so it can be used in maybe next year, and so we will be happy with that result. But we will see at the end what will happen. Also, reason why we mention other areas is to see what other stakeholders for those areas will be. So, and to see how it will be. Will it be some private public I don't know, projects or some initiatives that will or maybe some good idea that we could ask funds for later. I don't know, have I went over the question, but I just wanted to inform you that we are thinking about all these different ways we could utilize this pilot and other areas.
Thank you. So from the city of Kran, do you have any feedback or regarding what has been said? Or how do you plan to develop this process of co-creation?
Well, talking about stakeholders, like Esther said, yes, regarding our pilot, it's quite clear which are our stakeholders. They are residents of our neighborhood in Drunovka, and it was, we already had one workshop with them, with those residents. It was in August last year, and we were quite surprised because we thought that there will be, I don't know, about 20 people that they will come to the to the event, and we were positively surprised because there were, I think, around 60 people, a bit less than 60 people. So we were hoping that those co-creation events on pilot will also be well visited. I guess we don't have problems with stakeholders on pilot. It was more of a challenge to determine stakeholders on city level, on Agora areas. So we don't have a lot of stakeholders on the city level, but we have, I think, those 5 crucial stakeholders, so we can get feedback from them in those free co-creation workshops.
Do you also plan to involve them further in the process? You
mean stakeholders on the city level, or
with regards to, for instance, the pilot project?
Yes, of course. There are the stakeholders on the city level are also part of those pilot activities. They will be engaged in those activities. They will contribute in a way. So I guess yes, that's also our plan. Yes.
A part of this Agora community, and yes, like Susanna mentioned, they don't have so many stakeholders in the Agora community because there is one person who is coordinating all local communities on the city level. And you know, it would be a problem if you would have all representatives of like president of local community behind the table. You know, it took a different approach. We have one coordinator of those local communities on the city level.
Yes, that is the head of the department for local communities here in municipality.
Because this lady, she is coordinating also their budget and the participatory budget instrument, etc. So she's in constant contact with them. So, and they have a sort of collaboration, you know, in every year actually. You know, it's a long-term. There are long-term activities already. There is also some trust level already established. So it wasn't for us, it wasn't useful to have all those local presidents, you know, behind the table and discuss with them, because we would need to have, like we mentioned before, the language, translate all those activities, you know, to them, you know, in order to move further. So that's why we wanted to be as efficient as possible.
Yes, but like Barbara said, we didn't want them to sit with us with the table because of the large number of the people on the workshops. But we did include them in the process with those questionnaires. We did ask them what do they want in their neighborhood. So it was an important task to
have
do.
interviews.
Yes.
About their needs, etc. Because also what they are, the city of Kran, especially regarding the participatory these instruments, they would like to split the budget which is planned for this instrument, that all those local communities will have the same budget, you know. So that's why we said we need one coordinator of them, because each community will get something. It's not like in Cluj where people are voting for the best project, you know. That's why what is here important is that each community gets a little amount of money to do something, you know, because it's not a competition among them.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, they have that approach because when we were analyzing those participatory budgeting instruments, they are all the same. People were voting for best project on the city level, but here they don't want to do this, you know.
Okay. What are some essential ingredients to develop the pilot project? Some prerequisites that you need to implement the regeneration agenda or to develop the pilot project. I think it is a bit repetitive because we talked more on this session about the actions and the regeneration agenda than in the last one. What are some important success factors?
You can say, like Susanna mentioned, small actions for local community, together with local communities to build the trust, you know, to improve the participation. Those are success factors.
Involving the, I'm sorry.
I think informing them as much as possible, and have a kind of transparent process. It's important to start working on the trust that they have to gain towards city administrations. I think it's kind of lost right now. So we are trying to work in that way. So we will lift the trust, their trust in public administration. And I think we can do that only by being in constant contact with them and being transparent and like I said, promote the idea that they have to be also, that
that they should get
motivators
more
yes,
proactively.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
not only wait for
yeah,
someone else to do it.
Yeah, to take action.
Yeah.
So does any other city have the same or different perspective regarding this?
The same.
And from Zenica?
Yeah, same.
Okay. And the last part,
the same success factors. We are in the same pool.
When we, just as an interesting fact, when we were interviewing our presidents of those local communities, one of the president of the local community in neighborhood Planina, they are quite active, and they realized that in their neighborhood they detected the increase of bats in their neighborhoods, and they wanted to do something for them, and they developed the idea to make a kind of houses for them, you know, where they can, somewhere they can hide and have their own.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and this is the idea that they came up by themselves, and they have then connected with some organization that work on the nature kind of, I don't know how
Protection.
to say, yes, nature protection. And they did it by themselves, and so they put all those houses for bats in their in their neighborhoods, and I think they felt good after they did something good.
Yeah, it is important to feel that you are part of the space, and
yes.
Yeah. So the last thing would be if you can please make a statement similar to and you have here the role, like as a municipality or as a community organizer, I'd like to, and you fill in what is your desire, so I can, and you put the scope. I will give you an example. As a municipality, I'd like to provide more transparency for the local community, so I can gain their trust and develop more projects together. I can put in the chat. Did you understand? Or if you have any question, I can explain again.
Is it some commitment for the future?
The final goal of the sentence, or I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Yeah, this motto or purpose for the future, or I don't know.
No, it's
Yes,
not a
it
commitment.
should be, I mean, the end goal should be what you want to develop through the pilot actions, especially. We used this type of formula from the use cases that are used to map out the requirements from different stakeholders. So it is important for us just to map out. And it's also important to rephrase and put in other words, even if it's the same concept that we have been debating, but I'm sorry, I have to write this.
Mm-hmm.
Is it clear now?
Maybe I could do for Zenza.
Yeah, please.
It's just straight out of my thoughts. So, as a city of Zenza, I would like to connect different stakeholders in Zenza so we could give young people the chance to start their own business in the field of modern and advanced technologies.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so this is basically, it's just a short statement of a single requirement a user has for a product or a service or a system. They use this also in IT to develop applications.
That's why it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Maybe I have one for Kran. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm saying what Susanna and Barbara have already said before. And as a municipality, I'd like to improve the quality of life in neighborhood. So I provide more actions involving the inhabitants. So I raise their awareness about their active role in it.
Okay. And Esther?
Oh, I'm thinking. Just a moment. Maybe I can say that as a municipality, I like to make new ways near to the local community to create new projects or some kind of projects for the people, near the people. Not only for the municipality itself, but for the people, make it closer to people.
Okay, thank you. So from my side, this would be about it. If you have any other question, or if you want to discuss anything else, this would be the last chance.
Maybe Victor or Mihai, if you want to share with us that list of questions, and if we notice that the questions
Yes.
can be useful for the others, we can share with everyone.
I managed to reach them and they were called by the mayor, so they had to attend something. This is why they disappeared, yeah. So I think we can wrap up this session. Thank you very much for your participation, and I hope it was useful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you.
Nice day.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.